Good morning to all of you. So today we will start with the next chapter, chapter 5, that is light. So in this chapter the contents that we are going to cover first is introduction to the reflection that you have already studied in the previous classes. Then we will study about the spherical mirrors. What are the spherical mirrors? Then the types of spherical mirrors. So two types of mirrors we will study, concave mirror and convex mirror. Then the few terms that are related to the spherical mirror like aperture, pole, center of curvature, radius of curvature, principal axis, principal focus, focal length. Then we will study about real and virtual images. Then we will study few uses of the mirror like uses of concave mirror, convex mirror. Then we will study about refraction of light, properties of refraction, what are the laws of the refraction. Then few examples we will discuss, and in the end we will discuss about the dispersion of the light and its causes. So let's start. There are a few facts that we already knew about the light, that light is a form of energy which produces the sensation of sight in us, and definitely we can see the object when the light strikes it and returns in the same medium. So the light travels in a straight line, and this property of light is known as rectilinear propagation of light. So light travels in a straight line. How can we prove it? You can see in this diagram a person is able to see this candle, lighted candle, when he has placed the three cardboards in the same line with the holes all are in the same line. But here in this case you can see, in the first case the person is able to see the light of the candle, but when the tube is blocked, then the person is not able to see the light of the candle. So it proves that light travels in the straight line. So whenever the light falls on an object, it reflects from the object, surface of the object, and it reaches our eyes. That is why we are able to see an object. So what is the reflection? It is the phenomena of bouncing back of light in the same medium in which it is traveling when it falls on a surface is called reflection. So an object that reflects light is known as a reflector, and silver is the best reflector of the light in the metals. That is why silver coating has been done at the other surface of the mirrors. Smooth and shiny surface of mirror reflects almost all light falling on it. So if the surface of the mirror is smooth and shiny, then it reflects almost all the light falling on it. That is why we are able to see our clear image if the surface of the mirror is smooth. And regarding the transparent object, like for example the glass, in the glass you are not able to see your image. Why? Because it is a transparent object and it reflects the least amount of the light. So if the object reflects almost all light falling on it, then it produces the best reflection, like in case of the smooth and shiny surface of the mirror. So you can see here in this figure a very clear image you can see, because the surface is very smooth and very shiny, like in this case also. And these are the glasses, so you cannot see a proper reflection or proper image, as these are the transparent objects. So let's start our discussion of the topics spherical mirror. So what is a spherical mirror? A spherical mirror is a mirror which has a shape of the piece cut out of a spherical surface. Two types of spherical mirrors are there, concave and convex. So here you can see this is the sphere of the glass in which a surface has been cut out. So depending upon the reflecting surface, this mirror has been categorized into two parts. One is the concave mirror, if inner surface is reflecting surface, and outer is silvered. And second is convex mirror, if inner surface is silvered and outer surface is reflecting surface. Like in this case, you can see the outer surface is known as convex surface and inner surface is known as the concave surface. So depending upon the location where the reflecting surface has been located, the mirrors have been classified like concave and convex mirror. So it is a plane mirror. You can see very easily that a distinct image has been formed. So how a spherical mirror is different from a plane mirror? It is due to its reflecting surface. So here you can see the surface of the mirror is curved in the form of the curve, whereas in this you can see the surface of the mirror is a plane surface. So this is how the spherical mirror is different from the plane mirror, just because of its reflecting surface or shape of its reflecting surface. So first we will discuss about the convex mirror. So if the reflecting surface of the mirror is convex, that is it is bulging outward, then it is known as convex mirror. A convex mirror is also known as diverging mirror or fish eye mirror, because the image formed by the convex mirror is virtual. That means it is formed behind the mirror. It is erect. It is above the principal axis and diminished, which means a larger area is visible in a convex mirror than in a plane mirror of the same size. So here you can see it is a diverging mirror. The rays of lights are coming and after striking on the surface, they are diverging away from the surface. And they are not actually meeting, but when they are produced in the backward direction, then they appear to meet at this point. That is why it is known as the virtual image. And you can see the size of this image is very small, so it is diminished. So when the surface of the mirror is bulging outside and it is the diverging mirror and forms a virtual and erect image, in that case the mirror is known as the convex spherical mirror. Whereas in case of the concave mirror, the reflecting surface of the mirror is concave, that is it is bulged inward, and that is why concave mirror is used to magnify objects. It is also known as converging mirror, because when the parallel rays comes together, they actually meet in front of the mirror. Here you can see the rays of light are coming, parallel rays of light are coming. When they strike the mirror, after striking the mirror, they are passing through the actual focus. So they are actually meeting at this point, and this point is in front of this reflecting surface. So therefore it is known as the converging mirror and it forms the real image. Now we will study few terms which are related to spherical mirror. First term is pole. So center of spherical surface of the mirror is called pole of the mirror. Then focus, it is a point on the principal axis of the mirror such that rays incident on the mirror parallel to the principal axis after reflection actually meet at this point. So this is known as the focus, where the rays which are incidenting on the mirror and parallel to the principal axis after reflection actually meet, like in case of the concave mirror, or they appears to meet, like in case of the convex mirror. Next is center of the curvature. So it is the center of that spherical shell from which mirror forms a section. Like if you suppose take a spherical ball and you cut a mirror, so center of that spherical shell or ball will be the center of curvature of the mirror. It lies outside the surface and every point on this mirror surface lies at the same distance from it. That we already knew that center is a point, center of the sphere or center of the circle is a point from which every point on the surface of the spherical shell will lie at the same distance. Last is aperture. So the actual reflecting surface is known as aperture, the diameter of the circular rim of the mirror. Then principal axis, the straight line that passing through the pole and center of curvature. And normal. Normal is at any point of the spherical mirror is a straight line obtained by joining that point with the center of curvature, because we already knew that reflection always takes place along the normal. So here are the few terms. This is the pole, geometrical center of the mirror. This line is known as the principal axis. This reflecting surface is known as the aperture, the diameter of this. Then this is known as the center of curvature, and from this point to the surface of the mirror, the radius, the distance is known as the radius of the curvature. Now there are two types of images that you already studied in the previous classes. One is the real image and one is the virtual image. So real image are the images that can be obtained on the screen. For example, the image formed by the projector on the wall. So whenever you go into the cinema hall, the movie that you watch is the real image. Or the photograph that you have seen, like this is the photograph that you can see. This photograph is actually a real image. Whereas in case of the virtual image, the image cannot be obtained on the screen. For example, the image formed by the plane mirror. So whatever image you see of yourself in the mirror, that image is known as the virtual image. So few distinctions between the real image and virtual image. Real image is the image produced by the reflection or refraction when the light rays arising from the object converge at the specific point. Whereas virtual image refers to an image when the light rays originating from an object only appear to strike. Real image is formed by actual intersection of rays of light. That is why it can be captured on the screen. Whereas the virtual image is the imaginary intersection of rays of light. And in this case, virtual image cannot be cast on the screen. Real images are inverted, that is they are formed below the principal axis, and virtual images are erect, that is they are formed above the principal axis. So let's discuss few uses of the mirror. First is use of convex mirror. So these mirrors are used as rear view mirrors in the cars and the motorcycle, as they enable the driver rider to view the road and the vehicles behind. For example, you can see in this diagram a rear view mirror. So as it is having the greater field view at the larger distance, so many objects you can see in this mirror, so it is known as the convex mirror. Then they are used as the vigilance mirror in the supermarkets, stores and ATM centers. So here you can see previously these type of mirrors were used because they cover a larger area at the smaller surface and they are having the greater field view. So this is also one of the example of convex mirror. Then moving on to the concave mirror. So they are used by the dentist to obtain the magnified image of the teeth. So if you have went to the dentist, the mirror that dentist is using to see the teeth is known as the concave mirror. Concave mirrors are also used by the doctors to examine the ears, nose and throat because they are producing the magnified image. Then they are used in headlights of cars and scooters to make light more focused and brighter, and concave mirrors are used to shave and apply makeup. They are used as a reflector. They are used by the dentist. They are used in the torchlight to increase the area of light. Then they are used in the headlight of the car. Then they are used as the shaving mirrors also. So these are the few uses of concave mirror. So this is it. In the next video we will discuss about the topic refraction of light and its various properties, examples, then the dispersion and its causes. So for today it's thank you.